Yesterday, I got this email from EA letting me know that on Friday, May 6th at 4 p.m. Eastern, the reveal for the next Battlefield game will take place. Unfortunately, I'm going to be away that weekend, so I won't be able to get a video out regarding my thoughts and potential parody of the reveal right away, so be on the lookout for it on Monday the 9th, just in case you're wondering. The Call of Duty reveal I'm intrigued by because I'm interested to see what game they'll try to convince the community to like. However, the Battlefield reveal is what I'm actually hyped up about. And we don't know nearly as much about the game other than EA CFO revealing that the next installment, quote, will be a return to a Battlefield military-style game, end quote. I'm going to put on my Inspector Clouseau outfit and try to figure it out here, so let's do this shit. A Reddit post leaked 3 documents for an upcoming presentation on the next Battlefield game. The first of which indicates that there is a June 12th official reveal for Battlefield 5 from EA Play, EA's version of the E3 conference, and this confirms the Battlefield 5 title. There's a strange doodle on the slide, though, which seems to be of a palm tree with 2 stick figures, one grappling onto the side and one hanging out in midair with the palm tree on a platform that's seemingly floating off from somewhere or hovering off into the distance. It almost reminds me of Boost Rock in Black Ops 3's Infection map, and it could mean that the next Battlefield game is a futuristic one with soldiers flying through the air to mantle onto ledges up above. The other idea I have is what the palm tree represents, a beach. What is the most famous beach battle in history? Normandy from World War II. This depiction here could be the soldiers marching up the cliff on the beach of Normandy, and we might get a World War II shooter, a sequel to Battlefield 1943 perhaps? On the next slide, Eastern Front basically piggybacks on the second idea from the previous slide of a World War II setting. That is until you see the last slide, which is the most interesting of all. This slide seems to contain the post-release content model for Battlefield 5 with 5 different map packs associated with it. There's also this giant comment at the top of the page, quote, all this doesn't include free content, with free highlighted and a question mark at the end. Similar to Battlefield 4's post-premium DLC content, there was free DLC given out to the entire community, which will return in Battlefield 5. The first map pack is called Eastern Front, which is alluded to on the previous slide. We can also see that the second map pack are reimaginings of Battlefield 4 maps, including Siege of Shanghai, Operation Locker Gulmid Railway, and Zavad 311. If it was me, I'd nick Shanghai and Railway for Guilin Peaks and Dawnbreaker, but I'm not making these decisions. In the description, however, we do get 2 clues. 1, this game is built on the Frostbite 3 engine, not a new engine, so I'm hoping that this will all but dispel concerns about a bad launch, which you all know happened with Battlefield 4 in going from Frostbite 2 to Frostbite 3. Plus, DICE LA will be the main development company behind this game, not DICE Sweden, who is responsible for Battlefield 4. DICE LA was responsible for cleaning up Battlefield 4 post-launch, so they're much more capable of a studio in terms of technical prowess. The second thing in here is a bombshell, though. Quote, furthers the story of the World War that is taking place between retreating US and advancing Pan-Asian coalition. So, we know it's a world war. Could it be World War I, which is the rumor from an online listing which I talked about in a previous video, or World War II, or a fictional world war? The term Pan-Asian Coalition is very interesting here. It could mean the groups of Asian nations that were in the Axis powers during World War II, or, more likely, it refers to the same military faction that were in Battlefield 2142, who fought against the European Union. This faction was also mentioned in Battlefield 4's Final Stand DLC, which took place in 2020. This could mean that Battlefield 5 is a direct sequel to Battlefield 4 and picks up where the last DLC left off in the modern military type setting, or it's a prequel or sequel of Battlefield 2142, a futuristic FPS game. The next clue is the third installment, which states vehicle superiority will be a new game mode, probably similar to tank superiority in Battlefield 3, and in the description it says futuristic armored vehicles, again, pointing to a futuristic FPS game. The fourth installment is called Titan Assault, which will introduce the game mode Titan Conquest, which sounds very similar to Battlefield 2142's Titan game mode, which was reimagined in Battlefield 4 as Carrier Assault. This means that the game could still take place either at the end of Battlefield 4 or around Battlefield 2142. Other clues have been left by industry insider Shinobi602, who has been tweeting in vague terms things which were confirmed by EA's email on Friday that the 6th was the reveal of, quote, shootery things. Then he tweeted out, in succession, the theme songs for Battlefield 1942 and Battlefield 2. Many people took this as code to mean 1942 plus 2 or 1944, of which would be a direct sequel to the last World War II Battlefield game called Battlefield 1943. Alas, this theory was thwarted when he then tweeted out Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4's theme songs later that week. Perhaps it's not what he's tweeting, but what he's not tweeting that gives us some clues. The only two major title themes that weren't tweeted by him were Battlefield 2142 and the Bad Company series of games, since Hardline is ruled out because of the aforementioned return to military-style roots. However, 2142's theme is very similar to that of 1942 and Battlefield 2, which leaves only Bad Company. Could we be getting a sequel to Bad Company 2? Bad Company 3? I think the internet would fucking explode if this happened. Another ding against the World War II setting is that the game producer of Battalion 1944 tweeted out recently, before then deleting said tweet, quote, I've seen things, hashtag BF5 things, and I'm beyond excited, end quote. This led to speculation that since Battalion 1944 is a World War II game which received praise from a dev of a similar game, that the next Battlefield game would be a World War II setting. However, he responded to that theory with, quote, yeah, there is like zero logic in this analysis, lol, end quote, which basically kills off this theory. The original tweet in the thread claims that it would either be a World War II or a 2143 Battlefield 5, leaning towards World War II. This is yet another nod to a futuristic Battlefield title. That's all we know about the setting of the next Battlefield game. I would be slightly disappointed if it was a futuristic shooter, given the oversaturation of the futuristic FPS games nowadays. However, the setting to me isn't as important as the gameplay. If it plays great, I almost don't care which era the game is placed, although I've had my reserves about World War I, which I put out in a video. I'd prefer modern military or Battle Nonsense's Battlefield 1982 idea. Link to the playlist to describe it is in the description. But I take Vietnam or World War II era as well, although I would prefer more towards modern. If EA were smart, they'd seize an opportunity to fill a void left by the disenfranchisement of the Call of Duty community with futuristic games and make one either set in the near past or present. But again, there is an overabundance of modern military FPS games as well, so they'd probably be better off going near past or even World War II in order to grab that empty market space. The only other bits of information that I could gather were that a German retailer has the game listed as Battlefield 5 with some cover art, which is really just a Battlefield 4 wallpaper with a different logo on it. There are only 3 versions available: PC, PS4, and Xbox One. If this is true, and that's a big if given the cover art fuckery that I said earlier, this means no last-gen version of the next Battlefield game. This aligns with EA's other big shooter that came out recently, Star Wars Battlefront, only being available on now-gen, so I can almost guarantee there won't be last-gen support for this new upcoming Battlefield game. That's all the info I have about it. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Do you guys want a Battlefield 2143 or a Battlefield 5 modern day game? How about Bad Company 3? Maybe even Battlefield 1944 or Battlefield Vietnam 2? Let me know. I've been the Schwantz27, out like the LA Clippers. Until next time.